Welcome back to the Real Story channel. Once upon a time in a big bright village, there lived Simbi. Simbi was incredibly wealthy and beautiful. She possessed a large house, an abundance of shiny garments, and numerous sparkling jewels. Her father had bestowed upon her all this wealth before he departed for the stars. When the villagers laid eyes on her, they couldn't help but exclaim in awe. However, Simbi was slightly different from the rest. She preferred the company of individuals who possessed ample wealth, just like her. She refrained from associating with those who had less, even when they smiled at her. Occasionally, she would withhold her own smile in return. In contrast, her father was not like that. He treated everyone with kindness and generosity, sharing his wealth with others. People adored him greatly, and they hoped that Simbi would one day emulate her father's virtues. Simbi didn't entertain the thought of marriage.
Her mother advised, "Simbi, you're not getting any younger. Find someone nice." However, Simbi would shake her head in disagreement, asserting, "No, I want someone extraordinary. He must possess greater wealth than me, be exceptionally kind, and have never been married before." This sparked whispers among the villagers, wondering who could possibly fit such criteria. As Simbi patiently waited, she pondered about the man who would be the perfect match for her. She firmly believed that somewhere, somehow, she would find him. But for now, she took pleasure in her riches, her grand house, and her dazzling possessions. She wasn't quite ready to share them with anyone just yet. Then, one sunny day, Simbi encountered Motsi. Motsi hailed from a neighboring village, and he too was wealthy, just like Simbi. His affluence also stemmed from his family, similar to her own. Simbi took a liking to Motsi because of his wealth, and Motsi reciprocated her feelings. They made the decision to marry and reside together. Initially, everything was blissful and harmonious. They laughed together, relished delicious meals, and dwelled in a spacious and cozy home. Simbi and Motsi appeared to be a perfect match. However, as time went by, things started to change. Simbi developed a penchant for making all the decisions and assumed the role of the boss. Whenever Motsi proposed an idea, Simbi frequently dismissed it, insisting on her own way. She believed that her wealth and age entitled her to be in charge. One day, Motsi had to embark on a trip and requested Simbi to remain at home until his return. Unfortunately, Simbi disregarded his plea and ventured out to have fun with her friends, traveling far away without informing Motsi. Upon his return, Motsi discovered the house to be quiet and empty. Inquiring about Simbi's whereabouts, he was informed by a passerby she left to enjoy herself with her friends. Motsi patiently waited for her, one day turning into 2, then 3. Finally, Simbi returned. Motsi was deeply upset and questioned, "Where did you go?" Simbi didn't appreciate the inquiry and retorted, "Why do you ask? I can go wherever I want." A heated argument ensued. Motsi emphasized the importance of respect, reminding Simbi that he was still the head of the household. However, Simbi refused to agree. Filled with anger, she declared, "I don't need to listen to you. No man can control my life." With those words, Simbi packed her belongings and returned to her own village, leaving Motsi and their home behind. She found herself single once again, residing in her grand house, reflecting on what had transpired. Whispers circulated among the villagers, pondering the fate of Simbi and Motsi, wondering what would unfold next. Simbi's mother shared in her sadness, acknowledging that no marriage is flawless. However, Simbi had no desire to entertain such thoughts. She believed that she would simply find another man, a better one this time. After parting ways with Motsi, Simbi crossed paths with Ao. Unlike Motsi or Simbi, Ao wasn't wealthy, but he possessed a compassionate heart. He was known as the kindest man in the village. Simbi contemplated, recognizing his caring nature, thinking, well, he is very caring, which is something I desired. Thus, Simbi and Ao decided to marry. Since Ao didn't possess the same wealth, he had to move into Simbi's expansive house. He dedicated himself to ensuring Simbi's happiness, preparing delicious meals, diligently cleaning the house until it sparkled, and even offering foot rubs to ease her fatigue. Sometimes, with his meager resources, Ao would purchase pretty dresses for Simbi, saying, I just want to see you smile, Simbi. She delighted in it, reveling in her ability to control him. It felt as if Simbi were the husband and Ao the wife. She reveled in this dynamic, feeling like a queen. Ao was always present, ensuring her comfort and happiness. However, over time, Simbi began to sense that something was lacking. She observed that Ao didn't contribute financially. While he dedicated his days to making her happy, the maintenance of their grand house and the acquisition of shiny possessions required money. Simbi concluded that Ao was kind but too idle, failing to contribute significantly to the family. Instead, he simply relished in the fruits of her labor. One evening, Simbi sat down with Ao and expressed her thoughts. She acknowledged his kindness but pointed out that kindness alone couldn't fill their pots with food or sustain their lavish lifestyle. Ao felt a pang of sadness, desiring to bring joy to Simbi but unsure how to do so without financial means. Simbi's mother offered her perspective, advising Simbi to choose between Ao's kindness and a man who could provide financially. She explained that a man who dedicated all his time to care might have little left for work. After careful deliberation, Simbi realized that she needed more than just kindness. With a heavy heart, Simbi informed Ao that he needed to leave, confessing that he wasn't the husband she required. Ao felt profound sadness but complied, packing his bags and departing. Once again, Simbi found herself alone. She possessed everything she desired within her opulent abode, yet happiness eluded her. She longed for Ao's kindness but yearned for more. The villagers whispered, remarking on Simbi's habit of sending husbands away, wondering what she would do next. In the wake of Ao's departure, Simbi experienced a tinge of loneliness. However, she soon encountered Kofi. Kofi seemed like a dream, embodying everything she desired in a man. He was handsome, immensely wealthy, kind, caring, and had never been married before. Simbi marveled, thinking, wow, Kofi is simply perfect. Thus, Simbi and Kofi tied the knot, and it appeared that Simbi had finally found her ideal match. Kofi embodied everything she had longed for. He showered her with beautiful gifts, took her to delightful places, and always ensured that she wore a smile. Together, they danced and reveled in each other's company. They shared laughter, and their house overflowed with joy. Simbi felt incredibly fortunate. However, over time, circumstances began to change once again. While Kofi remained kind and caring, Simbi occasionally forgot to reciprocate. She neglected to use polite words like please and thank you. Cooking and cleaning became foreign to her, as she believed Kofi's love negated the need for such efforts. Kofi had friends and family who frequently visited, but Simbi failed to greet them warmly. She mustered only a dry hello without a smile. Kofi's family held great significance in his life, particularly his parents. Yet, Simbi neither visited them nor offered any assistance, justifying her apathy by saying, "Why should I? They can take care of themselves." Kofi's parents noticed this behavior and expressed their dissatisfaction, stating that a wife should demonstrate kindness and respect not only to her husband but also to his family. They conveyed their concerns to Kofi, asserting that Simbi was unsuitable for their family. Though saddened, Kofi recognized the validity of their arguments. He loved Simbi but understood the importance of respect and kindness. Kofi approached Simbi and conveyed his thoughts, explaining that they couldn't continue their relationship if she didn't show respect to him and his family. Simbi was taken aback. She hadn't anticipated such a conversation. However, Kofi had made up his mind. Simbi packed her belongings and returned to her village, once again finding herself alone. Back in her village, Simbi contemplated her relationship with Kofi. Despite having everything she desired, she remained unhappy. It led her to ponder the notion that perhaps finding the perfect husband wasn't the sole solution. She questioned whether she needed to become a better wife as well. However, it was too late for her and Kofi. As Simbi settled back into her village life after leaving Kofi, she received a shocking surprise. A flood had ravaged the village, sweeping away much of its infrastructure, including the farms that had brought Simbi wealth. Suddenly, Simbi found herself stripped of her riches. Her grand house lost its allure when there was no food to eat or money to spend. Simbi and her mother were forced to leave their spacious residence and relocate to a small hut, significantly smaller than any place Simbi had ever lived. Initially, Simbi felt a deep sadness, longing for her comfortable bed, shiny possessions, and beautiful clothes. Now, she wore simple dresses and assisted her mother in cooking whatever meager food they could find. Living in the modest hut, Simbi's mind started to wander. She reminisced about Motsi, Ao, and Kofi. She reflected on her behavior towards them and acknowledged, "I had 3 good husbands, but she hadn't been a good wife." She had sought to be the one in control with Motsi, failing to appreciate Ao's kindness, and lacking respect for Kofi and his family. Simbi realized that she had been searching for the perfect husband without considering what it meant to be a good wife. "I was not kind," she admitted. "I didn't share or help. I only thought about my own desires." In the small hut, Simbi learned to live with less. She began conversing with her neighbors, the very ones she had ignored in her affluent days. To her surprise, they treated her kindly, sharing food and stories. Simbi, too, started helping others, embracing a newfound sense of compassion. Simbi and her mother shared whatever they had in the small hut. In this humble abode, Simbi's heart began to transform. She embraced saying please and thank you. She learned the value of listening instead of always asserting her authority. Simbi realized that material wealth didn't equate to richness of the heart. One day, Simbi admitted to her mother, "I was wrong. It wasn't my husband's fault, it was mine. I forgot to be kind and respectful." Her mother warmly embraced her, overjoyed to witness Simbi's newfound understanding. Leaving her selfish ways behind, Simbi learned a profound lesson. She discovered that happiness doesn't rely on wealth or being in control. True happiness stems from kindness, sharing, and respecting others. Simbi was ready to be not only financially rich but also a good-hearted person. As Simbi embarked on her new, simpler life, she encountered an unexpected person named Gu. He was unlike the men Simbi had married before. He lacked wealth and had been previously married. However, there was something special about Gu. He possessed kindness, a contagious laughter, and a genuine care for Simbi unlike anyone else. Simbi and Gu became friends, engaging in conversations, assisting one another, and sharing laughter. Simbi cherished how Gu made her feel. Her concerns about wealth and control faded away in his presence. She simply felt like herself, Simbi. One day, Gu surprised Simbi by asking her to marry him. Simbi pondered the proposition. Gu didn't possess great wealth, and he didn't fit the criteria Simbi used to desire in a husband. However, Simbi realized that those superficial factors weren't what brought her happiness. Being cared for, sharing laughter, and supporting each other were the true sources of her joy. With this realization, Simbi happily said yes to Gu. They tied the knot and embarked on their life together in the small hut. It was a simple but blissful existence. Although Simbi and Gu didn't have much in terms of material possessions, they had each other. They shared everything they had and collaborated to transform their modest dwelling into a place filled with love and laughter. Simbi remained loyal to Gu, never seeking someone wealthier or more influential. She learned to appreciate what she had, Gu's companionship. Simbi and Gu respected one another. They attentively listened when the other spoke and readily assisted each other without needing to be asked. Their neighbors witnessed the profound happiness that emanated from Simbi and Gu. They observed Simbi's remarkable transformation, her increased kindness, genuine smiles, and willingness to help others. Simbi had grown as an individual. She grasped that happiness didn't originate from amassing wealth or seeking power. True happiness derived from sharing life with someone who deeply cared, from acts of kindness, and from finding contentment with what one possesses. Simbi and Gu's marriage defied the tales of opulence and grand palaces. Their love thrived in simplicity, yet it overflowed with genuine joy and fulfillment. It was a tale of genuine happiness discovered within a humble hut adorned with simple attire and basic meals. However, it was their unique story, brimming with love. Simbi had finally found what she had been searching for, not in wealth or power, but in a heart that resonated with hers. On a beautiful evening, Simbi sat outside her modest hut, gazing at the stars, reflecting upon her long journey, from the days of residing in a grand house filled with extravagant possessions to now leading a simple life with Gu. Her heart overflowed with contentment. Simbi reminisced about how she once believed that marrying a rich, caring, and unattached husband would bring her happiness. She had wedded Motsi, Ayo, and Kofi, seeking happiness in what they could provide or how they made her feel. Yet, something was always missing each time. It wasn't until everything changed, until she lost her wealth and embraced a simpler existence, that Simbi discovered true happiness with Gu. Simbi learned that happiness wasn't tied to wealth or authority. Instead, it revolved around sharing, understanding, and loving. She comprehended that no marriage is flawless, as every relationship faces its own challenges. However, what truly matters is how one confronts those obstacles together. It's about mutual understanding, making compromises, and being there for each other. Simbi acknowledged her mistakes and realized that she had been seeking perfection in her husband without being willing to reciprocate the same. She understood that a joyous marriage isn't about finding someone who meets all your criteria, but about constructing a life together where both partners feel cherished and valued. As Simbi gazed at the stars, she felt grateful for her journey. It had imparted upon her the true essence of love and happiness. She expressed gratitude for Gu's love and the life they shared. The moral of Simbi's story became evident: no marriage is entirely flawless. What makes a marriage perfect is not discovering the perfect individual, but finding someone with whom you can grow, understand, and compromise to build a strong and affectionate bond. Happiness stems not from seeking perfection in others, but from appreciating what you have and fostering love and understanding in your shared journey. Simbi's story serves as a reminder that the key to a happy life and marriage does not lie in the wealth or status of your partner, but in the love, respect, and understanding you mutually cultivate. Ultimately, these qualities are the most precious of all. I hope you enjoyed this tale. If so, please show your appreciation by liking the video, sharing it with your loved ones, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more captivating stories like this one. Thank you for watching. May God bless you.